How are you feeling after a couple of games back? You sort of faded out of the game a bit. I know they started to tag you after quarter time, but is your match fitness there yet, or are you still working towards full fitness?
Still working towards full fitness. My preparation was hindered a little bit going into the season with having knee surgery and then a few complications with the surgery. So, I'm still a while away from full fitness, and I think every game I've played this year I've faded out of the game. I think against Carlton I had one possession in the last quarter, and against Melbourne I got subbed out at three-quarter time. So it's something I'm aware of and something the coaches are aware of, but it just takes time to get fit.
You have had interrupted preparation before. How long do you think it takes before you feel like you can power through a game?
Look, I would imagine in the next couple of weeks I'd start feeling better in last quarters. It's hard to say. It depends on the weekend. I think I played 96 minutes. Previously I'd been playing a lot less. Because of Matt Priddis going down the rotations, instead of my rotations being about 5 minutes, they went out to 9 or 10 minutes at times, which once you hit the wall sometimes and you're not fully fit, it's hard to recover from that. But if you have your rotations as such where you don't hit that wall, you can go for longer. And I think with Matty going down on the weekend, it magnified the fact that I have had a limited preparation.
How big, not wanting to offer excuses, but how big a factor was the loss of Priddis so early, do you think, particularly with his, how critical he is around the stop?
Yeah, Matthew's as important player as we have on our list, and to lose him early, it's tough. These days with the sub rule, losing a midfielder early in games does make it extremely tough. Robbie Gray came on and had a huge impact in the game for Port Adelaide. That's what we thought Cripps would do for us, but he had to play out the game. So losing Matthew, was a big loss, but it definitely is no excuse for the way we faded out.
Can you remember a loss like that in your time at West Coast from so far in front?
That's as disappointing a game as I've been involved in. And on the flip side for Port, I've been in games that we've come back from losses like that. It's a terrific effort by them, but it really did feel late in the game that we were out in our feet and they were running hard. And I don't think it's a fitness thing, because the pre-season that our guys have done, wasn't a part of it, but I watched the majority of it was A1. So whether it was a mental thing or a structural thing, we're not too sure. We've got the meeting after this, and no doubt the coaches will be telling us what we did wrong.
Given Daniel said it's one of the most disappointing losses you've been involved with, how hard is it if the other players feel similar to get yourselves off the canvas, because those sort of losses can be deflating and have a carry-on effect? Yeah,
look, it's very easy to get yourself up when you've had a loss like that. It's more of a case that I'm spewing that it's such a long break, because you don't get to rectify it quickly. We don't play till Sunday. I wish we played Friday night so we could get back out in the park and forget about the game, because you don't really forget about the previous game until you play the next one. So it's going to be a long 8-day break, but it won't be hard at all to get ourselves up for the next game. If anything, personally, I find it harder to get up when you've had a string of wins. When you're playing bad and you want to get something out of your mind, it's best to exercise those demons.
So you think the morale's pretty good despite the fact you're 1-4?
Yeah, morale. There's no issue with our morale, that's for sure, and there's no issue with the want to play football. It's more just disappointing. We train. The boys trained so hard over the Christmas, and we had such high expectations of the first part of the year, and obviously we haven't delivered on our expectations. But all it means is that we've got to win more games later in the year than we thought.
In terms of top 4, you guys still aiming for it, and can you do it?
Yeah, look, while it's a mathematical chance, we're always aiming for it, and it's obviously going to be a lot harder. We can't drop as many games, but with the players we've got coming back and the talent we've got in the group, it's not beyond us, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, no team under the current finals format has won it from outside the top 4, but if you do get your full squad together by the end of the year and finish 5th and 6th or whatever, is there still quite a bit of confidence there that you guys can mount a charge and really give it a good?
Yeah, it's a good stat. So someone's obviously due to win it from outside the 4, so hopefully it's us.
Dan, what did put the goal kicking down to at the moment? It's been really bad the last couple of weeks, and obviously you could have put them away in the first half.
Yeah, we once again, second week in a row, our goal kicking's been poor. I thought we could have put them away in the first half, and even in the last quarter we had some shots that could have edged us in front, and we would have probably won the game if we'd nailed a few of our opportunities. It's definitely not lack of practice. The boys work very hard on goal kicking. I myself work hard on goal kicking. It's just at the minute they're not going in. The boys won't work any harder because there's only so much work you can do before it starts affecting how fresh you are for games, but it will be something that the boys concentrate on, and hopefully they start going through for us.
Daniel, you mentioned fitness wasn't an issue. Do you think that there's any other reason as to why a couple of teams already this year have run over the top of you late in the game?
There's a lot of things that go on in a game of football in the coach's box. There's a lot of things that go on out in the ground where we're doing certain things, and then the team that we're playing against works out what we're doing, and then we work out that they've worked it out, and so on. So there's ebbs and flows in games, and there's a lot of tactical changes in games, and I felt in the second half they worked out a few things that were working for us, and it probably took us, not the coach's fault, it's the players on the ground, it probably took us a little bit of time to realise that they'd worked out what we were doing. And by that time the game was close, and we'd lost the sub, and their sub came on and had a fantastic impact on the game, and yeah, by that stage it was too late, and they'd come back, and yeah, I'm still in shock now, to be honest. It's a tough one to lose.
Daniel, is there room in the midfield for you, Wellingham and Rose over the next couple of weeks who are trying to get fitness up?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think Rose and Wellingham are a lot different to myself. They've completed pretty much every session of pre-season, so there's no issue with their fitness at all. It's just they've had injuries that have kept them out. Sharrad's extremely fit. He ran extremely good fitness tests, and he's been able to run on his leg on a special treadmill that we have for a number of weeks now, and he's been running out on the track. So, and Matthew's the same. So their issue won't be fitness. Their issue, going back to the waffle, is more getting some touch and getting some game time into their legs. So they'll be fine. They'll come back in just like anybody else, and it'll just be left up to me to try and gain some fitness by playing.
But do you expect them to play this week?
I'm not. I hope they play this week. I think they're definitely, in my personal opinion, is that they're in our best 22 when they're fit and firing. It's up to the medical staff and the coaches to work out when they're firing. But in my mind, they're definitely two players that are an integral part to our team.
Just in your chats with Nick Nat, how close do you think he is from
Well, Nick's thought he could play for the last 4 weeks, but that's Nick. Look, we'll take a cautious. I'm sure the club will take a cautious approach with Nick. He's got a lot of football ahead of him. Groins is a thing that you want to get right. Do it once properly, and you rarely have to do it again. So that call will be based on where Nick's at and the medical staff. But I can't wait to have him back.
Is he back in full training?
He's been back training for a number of weeks now. Yeah.
You, Glass, Dean, and Andrew Embley, you're sort of nearer the end than the start. Do you have a keen sense of how much time you have left and the opportunities have to be grasped at your age?
Yeah, for sure. They're 2 years older than me, so I've got 2 years more than them.
You've lived a lot more.
Well, yeah, exactly. My body's probably older than both theirs. We definitely, we all of us know that we can't play football forever, and every pre-season you see young kids come out and they do things that times and fitness tests that I don't think we could have done when we were younger. So eventually we know in the next couple of years our spots will be taken. We'll be trying to hang on to them, but it's just not physically possible when you get to a certain age in football with the talent and the programs that they have at junior level now to hold your spot. So we know that there's a sense of urgency for us, especially because we don't have 5 or 6 years left. So every year that we don't win the premiership is probably a year that we never will for us, because we maximum probably have 4 years left in it for all of us, probably more than likely 2.
Just back on Chris, have you spoken to him today or seen him around the club? How's he travelling?
Yeah, he got knocked out in a very similar instance against Essendon, I think, last year, and he said he feels heaps better than that, and I think he missed one game after getting knocked out against Essendon, and he said the symptoms aren't nearly as bad, so I'd imagine he'd get up this week.
And Kira, your old mate, Lynchy's flying at Collingwood. Have you looked at his form and thought, geez, he'd be handy back here at the moment?
Yeah, he's definitely left for greener pastures at the minute. But yeah, look, Lynch is playing great footy. He's doing exactly what he did here for Collingwood. Collingwood probably don't have the luxury of having Kennedy and a Darling. They have Cloak, and then they got rid of Dawes, so they needed someone to fill that role. If Lynchy was here, he'd be fighting for his position week in, week out. So I think his move benefited him and benefited our club in the sense that we don't have people jostling for spots every week at training. But yeah, I don't think Lynchy would be overly handy at the minute because we're not deficient at centre forward. Jack's doing a fantastic job and Josh is doing a fantastic job. So I'd be surprised if Lynchy was playing a role at the minute at our club.